enthusiasm. I tried my best. Is Evans signing a bigger deal for Baker, losing him, or Purdy gaining him?
I would say Purdy, because, you know, they've had injuries and he's rarely had a full receiving corps since Brandon Ayuk went out. He lost Deebo Samuel. So now, again, injuries may still be an issue, at least for Pearsall and Juwan Jennings. But those three are a nice trio. And then if Kittle can stay healthy, it's all these ifs. And you got McCaffrey still, if he can still have a good season. Like, that's a nice group of skilled players. And so I feel like, you know, Shanahan feels some pressure probably from himself just to win a Super Bowl. We all know he's a great coach. So they're going for it, and I think this is going to help San Francisco. Look, you hate to lose Mike Evans in Tampa Bay. They still have a good receiver corps. Like, and I think, and Evans even referenced that in his letter, you know, about leaving. So I think they'll be, I know you're crushed. I think they'll be fine.
I like loyalty.
I like
statues.
It's definitely a bigger deal for Purdy and Kyle Shanahan, this offense. They haven't had an elite red zone threat like Mike Evans outside of George Kittle in years. And when you look at this offense, he immediately fits the scheme. Like, they're a run-first team, they're an play-action team. He's a big body, physical, he's gonna run block. You're gonna get that type of productivity out of him and effort. He's hungry to win again and prove himself that he's gonna be worthy of this money that you just gave him. And then when you look at his just overall durability of his career, I know he's coming off of injury, but you're talking about a guy that's always been reliable, always been productive. Every single year he's played, when healthy. And with Kyle Shanahan as your play caller, you just have to believe he's going to have a bounce back. If Mike Evans is healthy, he is going to put up numbers.
Yep.
It's just been who he has been for his entire career.
How many touchdowns do you, especially if he's running these like Devontae-esque routes in the red zone, Brock?
He's gonna have massive opportunities. He's gonna be schemed, open, and accordingly. Like, this is a good situation for Mike Evans as well as for the San Francisco 49ers, which is probably why they did it.
Yeah, listen, it is a little bit of a luxury ad for San Francisco because of the weapons that Brew talked about, but they're trying to keep up in the arms race in the NFC West. And my guess is Mike Evans wanted to be a Buck for life. He had said that in the past when he had re-signed in Tampa, but there weren't a lot of receivers in free agency, and he looked around and he was like, you're going to give a 33-year-old guy coming off an injury season $60 million? Like, Tampa couldn't do this deal because they drafted Ibuka in the first round last year. They've got a lot of money tied up in their offense. They need to spend money on defense. They need to reallocate some resources from offense to defense. We talk about that a lot in like Dallas. We talk about that in Cincinnati. We should also talk about it in Tampa. And so you guys have covered the Purdy San Francisco side.
Let's shift the focus entirely to the San Francisco 49ers side of this equation, because that's where the real excitement lies. In my initial breakdown of the Mike Evans signing, I don't think I emphasized this enough. I spent a lot of time dwelling on the obvious concerns, the injury history, the age, the overall fragility that has plagued this roster. And those are valid points. That's the reality of the situation. But when you zoom in on a specific aspect of the game, the picture changes dramatically. I'm talking about red zone efficiency. In 2024, the 49ers were not good in the red zone. They became so overwhelmingly dependent on Christian McCaffrey that when he wasn't available, the offense struggled to generate any meaningful substance inside the 20. It was a grind. Then McCaffrey returned in 2025, and suddenly the numbers skyrocketed. The team jumped to fourth in red zone efficiency, a swing of nearly 8 percentage points. That's massive. That's the difference between settling for field goals and walking away with touchdowns. Now, layer in Mike Evans. Picture this: a healthy Christian McCaffrey, a healthy Mike Evans, Kyle Shanahan drawing up the plays, and Brock Purdy distributing the ball. That is a recipe for red zone dominance. You are in a prime position to convert those possessions into 7 points instead of 3. It's not just a luxury, it's a necessity if you want to keep pace with the Seattle Seahawks and the Los Angeles Rams in that division. Think about the matchup problems. Defenses are going to have an impossible task. You've got Deebo Samuel, Mike Evans, and Christian McCaffrey on the field simultaneously, with Shanahan scheming them open. Who do you double? How do you cover all of them? It's a nightmare for opposing coordinators. Could this be the year Brock Purdy throws for 40 touchdowns? Is he about to have a Matthew Stafford-style breakout season? Honestly, it's possible. I'm genuinely excited to see what Shanahan has in store once the offense crosses the 15-yard line. The creativity, the misdirection, the ability to isolate mismatches. It's going to be a show. I think we're in for something special. Now, let me be clear. In my initial reaction, I said I liked the Mike Evans signing, but I didn't love it. I stand by that overall assessment primarily because of the health concerns. I know the counter-argument that Evans was durable for most of his career and only recently dealt with injuries. I get that. But when a player gets older and then starts accumulating nicks and dings, it naturally makes you uneasy. It's hard to ignore the pattern. So I remain in the like not love camp when I look at the big picture. However, when I narrow my focus to the red zone, when it's time to get after it and punch the ball into the end zone, what's not to love? The potential impact is enormous. If this addition leads to another 4 or 5% increase in red zone efficiency, you're looking at a lot of extra touchdowns over the course of a season. And in those critical moments, fourth quarter, down by 4, down by 5, game tied, need a touchdown to take the lead or put it away, that's where this move pays dividends. A field goal is nice, but in those got-to-have-it situations, a touchdown changes everything. And when Shanahan is dialing up those fourth-quarter red zone plays with Evans, McCaffrey, and Deebo as his weapons, I'm all in. 3rd and goal from the 6? Sign me up. Absolutely sign me up. That's what I'm most excited to see. Look at the numbers. The 49ers experienced nearly a 10% swing in red zone efficiency simply by having McCaffrey on the field. And I've said this before. What Shanahan does so brilliantly is not just use McCaffrey. He maximizes him. He designs the offense around his strengths, creating mismatches and exploiting defenses. Now you add Mike Evans to that equation. Evans is going to make Shanahan's job even easier. He'll open up space for McCaffrey, and McCaffrey's presence will open up space for Evans. The synergy between these two, combined with Shanahan's play calling, has the potential to be awesome. When I first started thinking about this move, I was viewing it more as an individual signing. I was focused on Evans as a standalone player, and in that context, I had reservations. For example, if Evans had gone to Buffalo, I would have said, yeah, I like it, but I don't love it. It would have been a nice addition, a helpful piece, but not a difference maker. Not an all-in Super Bowl-bound kind of move. But this is different. This is about synergy. This is about how Evans fits into an existing system with an elite play caller and complementary weapons. That changes everything. I genuinely believe Evans could have a far greater impact on the 49ers than he would have had on almost any other team. The combination of Shanahan's creativity, Purdy's accuracy, McCaffrey's versatility, and Evans's physicality in the red zone is going to be a nightmare for defenses. I can already see it now. Sometime during the regular season, probably a random Week 7 game against some unsuspecting opponent, the broadcast will flash a graphic. The 49ers have scored a touchdown in 20 of their last 22 red zone appearances, or something equally absurd. And when that graphic pops up, I'm going to remember this conversation. I'm going to think back to March and say, I told you guys. I said we'd see a random stat like this. So be on the lookout. It's coming. For now, I'm choosing to focus on the moves that actually matter, the ones that move the needle in a positive direction. Free agency is a whirlwind. There's so much noise, so many signings, so many contracts that it's impossible to keep track. I was watching a clip earlier and someone said, Alec Pierce signed for the most record blah blah blah. And I thought, wait, where did he sign? I don't even know anymore. Oh, the Colts. Right. It's chaos. So I'm zeroing in on the concrete moves, the ones that genuinely push a team forward. And for the 49ers, this is one of those moves. Not because of the individual alone, but because of what he unlocks within the system. The red zone potential alone makes this worth getting excited about. Those are just my thoughts. I'd love to hear yours. What do you think about the 49ers signing Mike Evans to a 3-year, $60 million deal? Let me know in the comments. I read every single one. Whether you agree or disagree, let's get some discussions going. Let's have some debates. But ultimately, Let's just have fun with it. Please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love having you as part of it. I want to create something we all feel connected to, something we're genuinely excited to be a part of. I think we're well on our way. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. It really helps with visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.